Sometimes you hold the dove too tightly with the aim to protect it, but the impact of that action suffocates it. Shapfere Izinja. I want to talk to you who's got it. You've lived with enough evidence from people who've done you bad, people who've betrayed you, people who, as a result of that, today when you show up, where now you are fighting, where now you think the world is against you, when people question you genuinely, you are ready to fight because you grew up in a space and an environment where you had to prove yourself so much. While you do these things with the aim to fight for the little girl in you, you may be sabotaging yourself. You grew up with a mother that was present financially and providing, yes, but they were not present emotionally. Where now you know the feeling of Mother's Day where it hits you so hard that now you must pretend, and you're so grateful to have her in your life, but you know she does not care to know what did you graduate in, Konja? She does not know your favorite color. She does not even know what you like. You've lived life so independently that you overlooked the role of your mother. As a result, now you bleed on the females you have relations with. Because your own mom didn't believe in you, you already expect resistance from women. You don't understand sisters collaborating. Sisterhood is a foreign concept to you because you've got issues with the feminine energy, because the feminine energy that was supposed to raise and affirm you could not. So, of course, Mother's Day is a trigger. And you can't really say it out loud, because this is a day where people who've lost their mothers also have to say, I wish they were here. These are people who will often tell you, Hesh, Yauduma, you at least have got a mom, a parent that is alive. And that invalidates how you feel. Now you cannot express your struggles. Now you cannot express some of the things that you have as constant heartbreakers, because society sees this role of a parent to be one that is worthy of all celebrations, regardless of what it is that they do to you to break you. So you struggle with feminine relationships. You struggle with trusting women. As a result, you suffocate the dove that you so badly want to protect. When you have an attitude when you deal with females because you have preconceived notions anchored by some of the females in your life that wronged you. Some of the females you have issues with are people who've got keys to your future. It's where the promotion lies. Are people who can teach you a thing or two, but because you come with your preconceived notions, those lead before you have an opportunity to prove yourself. There are people who will provoke you just for the fun of it. You fall into the trap when you engage with them. You come into the pigsty and engage with pigs who don't mind being dirtied by the mud. But in the moment you engage them, those that saw you as a king and a queen start revising their perception of you because you are engaging things at levels lower than where they've placed you. Yes, the intention may be to defend yourself and defend your honor, but the manner in which you're going about it is not protecting your honor, it's suffocating it. Unfortunately, when as a man, you were never taught to deal with an empowered woman. So you exert power even when there's no need to. I'm here to tell you to look at another alternative. Perhaps we don't have a submission issue, but we may have a leadership issue. Because as an empowered woman, I want to know where it is that you are taking me. I want to know if is it worth it to bring you into my life and pursue things that will leave us at positions where I would be better off with you than by myself. So I need to see, I need a body of evidence to show me, to tell me that this is what you've done with your life. Therefore, me being here, elevation is possible. Me being here, I will go farther and further than where I would have gone had I been alone. When you've never led anything, even when Maudlala Matais, you were never the leader of that school. Even when Nidlali Paula casual, you were never the captain. Even when, so I need to know where it is that you were trusted with leadership and what were the results. The best thing that can show me that is your life. What have you done? Where have you taken yourself from A to B? Where have you had hiccups and overcame? Where is that have you spotted weaknesses in yourself, seeked help, and addressed areas of development? If you don't have that in your life, there's nothing about you that attracts me to your life. I don't need to see the millions. I don't need to see the empire. I don't need to see finished products, but what I'm seeing in you should be enough to convince me that indeed the millions and the empire you are chasing are possible. So what is it in your life that I can look at and say, you've led yourself to this, and this is valuable? So where now, because your preconceived notions around independent women is that you want to be difficult for no reason. You are trying to protect the dove, but your actions are suffocating it. Oprah Winfrey says you don't necessarily have to have the whole route figured out. Just figure out the next right move. Now, the problem with us is we want to know the full map. I'm saying to you, work on the next puzzle piece. Figure out what is time sensitive, not what is most important, but what is time sensitive, because certain things cannot wait, certain opportunities cannot wait. Where now you don't know what is time sensitive, as a result, you avail yourself for things that you could easily do next year, next month, next week, but what you need to do now is this, and you are ignoring this, and you think by giving yourself time to do things you could do next year, you are somewhat being productive. So in your aim to protect the dove, your actions are suffocating it. It is not every year that you will have money for funding. It is not every year that you will have a bursary for your studies or someone be willing to pay that. It is not every year that you will have someone who's willing to pour into your business, your investments, and whatever it is. So you need to figure out what is time sensitive now and pour into that so that you don't suffocate your dreams, because in pursuit to protect the dove, you may actually be suffocating it. When you became a breadwinner at an early age, while you think it is so nice to introduce your family to mozzarella and all the types of cheese that's out there, when it is you that brings cheddar and gouda, we don't know this blue cheese, we don't know this feta cheese, siyibona ngawe. And while you do that with the aim to expose us as a family to things, in the process, you are disrespecting our father or our uncle. When ever since you started working, so yes, the intention may be to protect the dove, but the impact of your actions could be suffocating the dove. There's a time and place for everything. You are on your N+1 NSFAS year. There's certain things you no longer have time for. You need to wrap things up there by faculty. You can't be the person to be attending networking events. Unfortunately, that year compels you to forgo every other thing that could seem developmental. So your failure to spot what is time sensitive right now could have you suffocating the dove that you think you are protecting. I need you to understand that life is not black and white. There's gray areas that you will find yourself in. There's gray areas that your loved ones will find themselves in. Some of the things you did in particular friendships, you did them thinking you are protecting the dove, and you suffocated the dove because you were too righteous for the gray area that your friend was in. When you were too judgmental when they dated a man of a particular class, because in your friendship you've always ruled out this man. I need you to understand ukuthi ikenza lakhe makuwumakeza wakhe makuwumfundisi wakhe. Whether or not you would go for that type of man, another conversation for another day. But for the duration that this person is still involved with your friend, you need to guard your mouth. So yes, while in sharing your standards, you are trying to protect the dove. You've suffocated the friendship that you had because you were imposing. So in your naivety of saying the most important person in a girl's life is their mother, you are dismissing the fact that they have a toxic mother. You were told in order to get the promotion, you need to stand out. But in your standing out, when you throw colleagues under the bus. In your standing out, you sabotage every relationship you've built with the team that you currently work with. So while the intention may be to protect the dove, you are actually suffocating. Where is it that you used your standards as blueprint and harshly judged your friends who did not know better? Where is it that you were the loudest in the room and did not pay attention to how that opinion is offending some of the people closest to you? Are there relationships that could have been saved had you been more attentive to the mood in the room before you said certain things? I want you to think of opportunities that you've missed, because while you thought you were doing things for your future self, you denied your current self things that were time sensitive. As a result, you delayed some things, crucial things in your life.